Trading bots are a hot topic in the crypto space. Imagine creating an application that you can just turn on and prints money while you sleep. Well, that sounds good on the surface, but in actuality, most crypto trading bots are terrible. They're going to blow up and lose you money. You might as well just go ahead and take a match and light your money on fire. But there are a small number of trading bots that are actually the exception to the rule. And I want to talk about the best crypto trading bot that you can create in 2023. I'm going to talk about, this is a blockchain developer who works with this exact technology on a daily basis. So if you're new around here, hey, I'm Gregory. And on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. All right, so let's get into this. Let's talk about the best crypto trading bot for 2023. So last week I talked about the blockchain developers making $10,000 per day with their trading bot. You can go check out that video if you haven't already, because I'm always researching new ways to create crypto trading bots. And the best crypto trading bot for 2023 is probably not like the ones you might be familiar with that try to look at the future and try to predict what the cryptocurrency price is going to be next and either buys or sells the cryptocurrency or shorts it, whatever, longs it based on that information, because most is going to blow up and lose you money. But the best crypto trading bot to create in 2023 is one that's powered by the blockchain and looks for opportunities that exist right now and capitalizes upon those opportunities without relying on future events to happen. We're talking about things like arbitrage, flash loans, smart contracts, all plugged into an open, permissionless financial ecosystem that you have open access to on the blockchain. And that's exactly what I'm going to try to create inside the Trading Bot Masterclass this Thursday, January 12th. So make sure you sign up with the link down below to hold your spot before it's too late. All right, so when you're creating the ultimate crypto trading bot for 2023, one of the best things that you can do when you're creating your own bot is to look for strategies that other people aren't really doing right now, okay? So, that's my personal approach, and that's what I want to walk you through in this video today. And let me tell you why, because, you basically have two different options whenever you're creating your own bot. You can go look for opportunities in the marketplace and try to sniff out like the best bots out there and try to look at what they're doing. But then you have to compete with them, which means you have to be better and you have to be faster, more efficient, all those types of things. Now, that can be very hard to do. You might be great at that watching this video. But what I personally do is something different, which is basically look for other things that either they're not doing yet, which is new strategies, or just strategies that they're not necessarily going to go after because they're looking for bigger opportunities. So let me give you ideas on how to do that and concrete examples about how you can find this stuff and think of new ideas for yourself. All right, so I'm going to pull up a specific arbitrage transaction on my screen and talk about how you can think outside the box and do some things a little bit differently to tweak this strategy and some of the variables in the process that's different from what other people might be doing. So let's start with the basics of how most or a lot of blockchain bot transactions work. Let's look at the simple example of arbitrage, okay? So an arbitrage trade is essentially where you're buying cryptocurrency on one exchange and selling it on another, because there's different prices. And if you can buy, say a token for $100 on one exchange and sell on another exchange for $101, it's a $1 profit, right? And that's assuming that you can do that profitably with the gas fees. So you'll notice that big transactions you'll see big transactions out there in the wild, people making $10,000 in a single trade, or $5,000 or $75,000 in a single trade. All right. So those are some of the big fish that are, the big dogs are going after that you might have to be competitive with. But what if you could create smaller transactions, okay? And you could look for these transactions what other people aren't doing. You could do this over and over and over and over again. So that's the idea of a long tail approach where you're doing smaller stuff that the big fish aren't necessarily going to be going after because they're searching for these big dogs. And honestly, that's a really great place to start if you're a beginner because, it's going to be less competitive. So here's an example of a single transaction that does that, which you can do it over and over again. So this is just a few dollars profit, but sometimes when you're getting something started, you want to focus on the small wins first and then how to optimize that to where you can, get it going better down the road. So I'm actually going to look at this and show you how it's a little bit different too than other arbitrage transactions that other people are looking for and how you can kind of think outside the box. So again, earlier I was talking about, arbitrage being on an exchange, exchange A and exchange B, buying one exchange, selling on another exchange. Well, you can also do it with different token pairs on the exact same exchange too. And that's an inspiration that I've got, from this one right here. So here's a screenshot essentially of what's happening behind the scenes. We're going from different liquidity pools on the exact same exchange with PancakeSwap, essentially going out of this cryptocurrency here. I'm not even sure what this name is, Sign or Sign, something like that, to Magic Internet Money back to BUSD, okay? And then using gas tokens to help optimize this as well. And then essentially getting the profit paid back out in BUSD, which is a stablecoin on Binance exchange. So this is all happening with different liquidity pools on the exact same exchange, PancakeSwap, okay? So this is an example of thinking outside the box, basically doing things internally within liquidity pools of the same exchange, and then having a long tail approach, which is a smaller profit, but if you do this over and over and over again, that, number one, gets you started, and number two, can add up to more money over time. Okay, so here's another example of the same type of strategy, all right, but doing it with a much larger profit. So this one's about an $800 profit. So again, if you do some things with smaller profits, you can still look for the same types of strategies, and the profitability might go up and down between each individual transaction. But here's an example of an $800 profit. Okay, I don't have the price listed here on top of this particular token on Binance Smart Chain Scans website because I don't think the price is indexed. This might be a newer token. There's so many tokens to keep up with. That's one of the beauty, though, of bots is as long as the transaction is profitable and you can figure that information out on chain, it doesn't really matter because you're not holding the tokens. You're just moving in, moving out really quickly. So you can see the example of the diagram on the token flows here. It looks really similar to what the other one was doing in terms of you can move between these different liquidity providers to the exact same exchange and then being able to cash out for that profit with the exact same wallet that you started with. All right, so here's an example of another way to think outside the box with your own crypto trading bots is you're not limited just to cryptocurrencies themselves. And what I mean by that is the world opens up to other crypto assets like non-fungible tokens or NFTs, for example, okay? So here's an example of profitable arbitrage made with NFTs, okay? You can see going out from OpenSea here and then doing an arbitrage transaction with a nice hefty profit from this particular art blocks collection here. And so you can see the flow of that on the screen is a little bit more complex than what we've talked about with the simple, moving between liquidity pools, either on the same exchange or between two different cryptocurrency exchanges. But that's exactly what you can do whenever you learn the skills and learn how protocols work, is you start to understand, hey, all crypto assets are just things that are valued in one place or another. If you can find places where there's discrepancy in those values, okay, or you can look at different DeFi protocols to determine what their mechanisms are and how they work and how to, play with those and manipulate them. I don't mean manipulate them in a bad way to steal money from other people. What I mean is manipulate some of the parameters on those things in a valid way that the rules allow you to do, okay, that can move some of this value around, that can actually be a positive sum service for the space. Then you can sort of cream out some of that value with your own trading bots. And so these are just some examples about how you can get creative and tweak different parameters and start coming up with new novel trading bot opportunities that other people aren't going after yet, or they're just not focused on because they might be distracted by bigger opportunities that you might have to be more competitive to chase. That's always been my strategy. That's what I recommend for other people. So, what do you need to know in order to do this? Because you need the knowledge to start creating your own strategies. So number one, you need to know the Solidity programming language so that you can create smart contracts to do things like flash loans, actually plug into the protocols to trade value around on-chain. That's how it works. If you don't know Solidity, you have a really hard time doing this, okay? And then you need to create some sort of script or searcher bot, probably in JavaScript, in order to look at that stuff and then call your contract. You can also use Python if you're a good Python developer, but if you're trying to become a blockchain developer, I recommend JavaScript as a starting place because it's more robust what you can do with it if you're trying to build out your skill set. Got plenty of my videos on my YouTube homepage that are going to explain that more in depth. But then on top of that, it comes down to understanding cryptocurrencies, how they work, understanding the protocols like decentralized exchanges, how they work, and then understanding the different blockchains. So if you start with Solidity, the other big benefit you're going to get out of that, of course, is you can capitalize on opportunities on the Ethereum chain, but you can capitalize on so many other blockchains that support Solidity with EVM compatibility. And if you go to a website like DeFi Llama, it will show you all the different EVM compatible chains out there. Things like Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, Arbitrum, Polygon, Avalanche, Optimism, Phantom, etc., etc. Now, some of these are Ethereum layer 2s, but still, these are unique environments where you can publish Solidity smart contracts that are going to have applications and tokens and trading volume on top of them that you can do this type of stuff on. And so if you have at least a dozen different blockchains where you can practice this on, you multiply that by the different number of crypto assets out there. I mean, I was talking about NFTs earlier, but if you just start with tokens, you look at ERC20 tokens. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of ERC20 tokens, in existence. Okay, and spread that across multiple blockchains like I was talking about before. And then you can get into the actual number of cryptocurrency exchanges on those different environments as well. And you can also use a tool like DeFi Llama to get a comprehensive list of all the different decentralized exchanges that you could look into and what chains are supported by them. Okay, things like Curve, Uniswap, PancakeSwap, Balancer, Sun, Sushi. I mean, just the list goes on and on, okay? And so you need to figure out how those exchanges work and then plug them into your smart contracts. But I'll give you a bonus hint, okay? A lot of these exchanges work the exact same way because they're forks of another exchange. So you can look at the Forks tab on DeFi Llama. One of the most popular most fork protocols out there is Uniswap version 2, and you can see there's 368 forks with over $4 billion of assets, locked into those. So that's a pretty good starting place, because then you actually learn one thing and then learn how to plug it in to do those types of transactions. Same thing with Compound, Aave, et cetera. You can see multiple examples of this on the Forks tab. All right, so that's an overview of how you can start creating your own strategies and what you need to know in order to start doing this for the best crypto trading bot in 2023. Now, this Thursday inside the Trading Bot Masterclass, I'm going to give you a full Trading Bot solution that's going to give you the starting point for creating these own types of strategies. I'm going to show you how to create the Solidity smart contracts that can plug into different exchanges, how you can create a searcher bot that watches for opportunities in the marketplace and then calls these contracts to perform the exact same I'm talking about with flash loans, so that you don't need any money to get started today. So make sure you hold your spot with the link down below before it's too late. As always, hope you like this video. Smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And until next time, thanks for watching Dapp University.